The location for this minibar in our off-grid cabin became official when we swapped out our propane fridge for this smaller 12-volt electric fridge last year. This electric fridge is significantly smaller and, as you can see, doesn't fill a space very well on its own. So to solve this problem and to maximize on space and storage, I decided to build a cabinet surrounding the fridge where one side would house the paper towel holder and tea towels and the other side for the minibar. I also wanted to elevate the fridge up off the ground to eliminate constantly bending down to get things in and out of the fridge. I began ripping down some cedar boards that I found dumped on the side of a Forest Service road, using these because they matched the boards on the kitchen walls the most. I ripped them to approximately a half an inch thickness. I laid these boards over the plywood that would make up the structural part of the cabinet, and then just tacked them into place. I was actually putting nails where I shouldn't have, so I did actually have to take this apart and redo it. I gave the surface a quick sanding and a quick coat of whitewash to match the walls on the kitchen. Now this Coors beer sign was my grandpa's. He had one of those 1970s basement bars in his house, and I've held on to it for years, so I thought this was the perfect way to utilize it. I wanted it to lay flush, so I used the router to achieve this. Yep, it fit in there pretty good. So I went ahead and glued that down with some caulking, which is all I had. Now I began to work on the shelf. I contemplated putting 1 or 2 shelves, but I ended up just putting 1 shelf in, and this piece of wood was a piece of driftwood found on the beach, which is very common in most of the projects that you see me doing. I often am using scrap wood, free wood, junk wood, driftwood. I just think that there's a use for all of that wood that otherwise might get thrown out. I put some pocket holes into that shelf board, and then a couple of holes for where I was going to put some rope through. To make the shelf good and strong, I went ahead and glued it as well as using the pocket hole screws. I wasn't sure I was going to like the way I did this rope accent, so I put it up in such a way that's easy to alter if I change my mind down the road, which is quite often how I approach some of my projects anyway. I likely will change the way I did this because it just looks a little bit messy the way that it is now, but it's okay for now. And the last final thing that I wanted to do was add a little bit of lighting to this situation, and because this is an off-grid cabin, lighting is a luxury. So I built this little frame, glued it on there to house a little battery operated LED light to give it that, posh bar feel. Overall, I'm really happy with how this turned out. Being able to use the sides of the fridge as storage was a game changer in a small space, in a small kitchen like this. As you can see, I still need to complete the finishing touches on the fridge cabinet itself, and down the road I may add another shelf below the first shelf there, or add a rack for glasses or something like that, but as is, I still really am happy with the way that it is. I hope you guys enjoyed it too. Thanks for watching.